Hi guys, this is Sarah with Quantum Healing with the Angels. I have a new episode for you. I'm going to talk pretty fast because I'm not feeling 100% today. I can't tell you how much pushback I've gotten trying to just get this posted. So I think there are some things that maybe others might not want you to hear. So, anyway, this actually started as another surrogate session for my father. Now, remember, my dad is elderly and he doesn't have much time left, and so it's interesting though because he's changing. He's changing now in ways that I never thought he would. And that is it's a very nice thing to have happen, before he should pass on. So, he's had heart things and we've done surrogate sessions for that. And then, when you're over 80, it's pretty easy to have other things go wrong too. But the interesting thing is, again, this is not from any illness. He's not sick. It's just that he worries and thinks. And he's not used to thinking in certain ways. He's not used to thinking, oh, if I do this, I can heal this myself. He's not used to that at all. But they are working with him and he is believing it. It's really interesting. So we talked about that and got the healing done for him. And then where the show starts is right when they're done with that. And then we're able to talk. And it's Travis's higher self, Larry, who talks the whole time. Larry also calls me Alora. Alora is the name of my higher self. So I think it's a pretty name. So he'll say, "Is this Alora?" And I say yes, and then we start talking. And I think the most interesting things that we talked about were more like follow-up things to our last episode, which was that certain people would be in need after disclosure happens. And in this channeling, I got a lot more information beyond just that. A lot more about what's going to happen, and even a few timelines. And I think that you'll find that this is very encouraging and comforting. The last episode was such a surprise, And then hearing certain things, I was just wondering what it was going to be like. So he answers my questions, and things are going to be different, but it is definitely going to be better. In some ways, it may not seem like it, but you have to remember too, this is going to shift energy. It's going to shift energy. It's going to bring in different energy, different abilities, all kinds of new things. And hopefully humans will start to come together instead of, what we usually do. I think you'll like it. And we also fixed the sound problem. We did get a recorder, so you'll have to let us know if the sound is better. I think it is. One more thing I want to mention is that I don't even know how to express it. I've had so many new ways of healing, I guess new abilities and things lately, that there are now options for people in every price range. I know that some people want to try quantum healing, maybe on a lesser scale, before they jump in and do a full quantum healing hypnosis session. So now I have lots of things to offer you. There is light language, which again, they talk to us about that, and it is extremely powerful. I think when I'm feeling better, I'll do a light language transmission and post that so that everyone can see and hear what that's like. And then there are also other types of healing that I'm able to do now as well. It's all sort of just come very fast. And also, maybe there's something that you struggle with and you'd like your own healing meditation that's designed just for you. Or maybe you'd like to explore the Akashic Records. If you're interested in these kinds of things, definitely check it out. I think the best place to go would be just go to www.beyondquantumhealer.com. That way you have all the links to our YouTube and to social media and to the website and pretty much everything. I will leave that link in the show notes for you so you can just click on it and go right there. And then if you go to the website, you can check out all the different things I've got there now. And remember, if you mention this podcast and you're doing a BQH session, you will get 10% off. So don't forget to mention that when you schedule with me. All right. We love you guys. Let's get going with episode 21 of Quantum Healing with the Angels.
Is that Laura here?
It is.
Laura, how are you?
I'm good. Is this Larry?
This is Larry.
How are you? Good as
Fine as always.
I thought you might say that. Thank you.
Yes, we are helping out with your father. We are healing him.
I didn't know what to do.
Yes, he is fine. He just gets worked up and causes himself pain. He just gets worked up on things and it causes his body to freak out and he starts to worry about it. He kinda causes himself pain, but he does feel better when you call him. Calling him actually helps a lot because it makes him forget about his pain. He usually gets that way when he's alone and he starts thinking about things that he shouldn't be thinking about and it causes him pain. When he sees what you do, that's when it's really going to take him out.
I better get on that then.
Yes. Once he sees you do something for someone, that will actually take a lot of his pain away because he will be so proud of you and he will see all of the people that you are helping and it will make him feel so much better, and then he will really believe what you say about it. Like, he believes in most of it now, but he hasn't seen it yet.
Yeah.
Once he sees it, then that will be the tipping point.
Okay.
All of his negative feelings will be over. He will be so proud. Wow. And then everything you tell him from now on, he will believe it. He kind of believes it now, but not quite. He believes it, but he was so stuck in his religious, even though he wasn't super religious, he was still programmed. You will basically deprogram him once he sees what you do.
That's That's amazing.
It will actually automatically deprogram him because he will actually see you working on someone. He will see the happiness in their eyes, and it will make him so proud. It will turn him into a major believer.
Holy cow. That is great.
Yes.
That is, wow.
He's going to be very fine.
Good.
Do you have any other questions?
Oh, I do. One question I have is about, well, someone did ask me, first of all, where does cancer come from? So maybe I can ask that first.
The virus you call cancer actually comes, unfortunately, hopefully this doesn't scare too many people, but it comes from some of the manufactured foods. But it's not, the cancer is not in the food. There are certain chemicals they use. That planet is so...
It's screwy.
They put certain things in the food. It's almost like it's kind of like a chemical, but it is a...
Like a catalyst or a trigger? Or...
Yes, that is the word.
Okay.
The thing they put in the food is the catalyst for when someone eats the food, it's in their body, but it's not cancer yet. The only reason why it turns into cancer is the catalyst that they found out that they can use for the negative energies that's always floating around. It's kind of complicated to explain, but when you know about the negative energies that's always flying around waiting, if they can tell someone is upset, the negative energies can just go into their bodies, and the longer they stay angry about something, then that's how the negative energies can turn into a cancer anywhere in the body. And the only way it will grow is if the longer the person stays angry, then the cancer will grow. But the thing about it is what we found out and what we told you, we know the cancer really doesn't kill people unless they stay angry or sad or just remorseful all the time. If they feel like they can heal themselves, the cancer will go away.
Okay.
So the cancer is not a death sentence.
Right.
It can literally go away. You can heal yourself. Everyone can heal themselves. So having cancer is not a death sentence. So the best thing for people to do is to not hold on to things that makes them sad or angry. If someone did you wrong, forgive that person or stay away from the person, but make yourself happy. If someone hurts someone in your family, and as you say, kill someone in your family, you cannot hold anger for that person, because that will cause the cancer. And only way the cancer will go away is if you forgive that person and forget about what happened to the family member and just remember the family member, and remember that the family member is here up in the light with us, and the family member is happy. The family member is not in pain anymore. The family member is not living on your plane anymore. They are here and happy. The person that took away your family member really did not take away your family member. They just brought the family member back up here where it belongs, where everyone belongs. So that's why it should be easy at some point for everyone to forgive someone for something like that.
Yeah.
Anything else should be way easier. If the person did something to you that you didn't like, let's say something for us simple is being unfaithful to you or something like that,
Yeah.
you cannot hold anger to that person. If the person did that to get away from you, then let that person go. If it was a mistake and the person really, really sorry about it, you forgive that person and tell them the best thing to ask them is, how did it happen? If they was unfaithful to you, it wasn't your fault. Unless you were very mean to the other person and it pushed them away.
Okay.
Then that was your fault.
Okay.
So if they cheat on you because you were being mean to them, that was your fault. So you should forgive them right away. If you was mean to that person and they were unfaithful to you, you say you were sorry. I am not angry with you for cheating on me. I'm not going to say I deserved it, but I kinda did deserve it. But I forgive you. Do you still want to be with me, or do you want to be with that other person? I will not be mean to you no more. I love you very much. I will not be mean to you anymore. So do you forgive me? So something like that, if they say they don't forgive you, then you have to let them go. And there's other scenarios, but I cannot get into them because it takes too long to figure out. But anyway, that's some ways not to let cancer bother you. You just don't hold on to anger. You just try to figure things out and discuss it and let it go.
Okay.
That's pretty much how to get rid of cancer, and that will heal you.
Okay. And now, like in my case, can a lost life?
Sometimes past life anger comes into, and some people don't even know that.
Yeah.
That's what these sessions are good for.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. It helped me.
A lot of people don't even believe in past lives, unfortunately. But if they don't believe in past lives, then it is a little harder to get those people to heal from their cancer because, everyone is programmed down there to think that doctors are the answer.
Yeah.
And doing medical treatments like that, but that is not the answer, unfortunately.
I just met a lady. Now, I was curious about this too. She was diagnosed with cancer, and her very young child was also diagnosed. Very young. And that baby passed. And this lady is, I can see that she's considering doing, well, I think she's wondering if she can heal. And I think she's considering doing what I do.
Ah.
Do you know who I'm talking about? Maybe?
Since I am around,
Yeah.
this person I am speaking to all the time, which is your husband, I see things through him, and I do know who you're talking about. Her baby signed a contract to leave early, so her baby wasn't destined to be cured from the cancer. They signed a contract together. That baby signed a contract to be her inspiration to do exactly what you just said. So yes, and she is going to heal herself doing that. And you are going to help just by speaking with her and concentrating on what needs to be done. You will be the inspiration.
When you say everyone can heal themselves, do some people have a life plan? planned that they wouldn't heal themselves.
Yes, that is in their contract. That's all we say when helping someone and it seems like you're not getting through to them. That is their path.
Okay.
Because the ones that listen, then that is their path. So it's pretty simple, actually. If you talk to someone and it sounds like they're not understanding or believing what you are saying, then it is easy just to let them go and make up their own minds. Because that is their path.
And then I still sometimes have people who get excited about the channelings and watch only the channelings and then contact me for a session, but don't know what it is. And so I was wondering if you had any words of advice for people who are watching our podcast, or listening to our podcast.
It is very important. If they want a session, they need to watch the sessions. They need to see someone in another session. Because this, what you're doing now, is, you call it a channeling, which it is, but it is not a regular session. Usually if you do sessions with some people, they may end up channeling in their session. But you are exactly correct. They need to watch the regular sessions when someone is speaking their truth through either a past life or what they see. Because what we are doing now is what you call a channeling, which that is a good word for it. They will not understand because they are two separate things.
Yes.
And you are absolutely correct. They need to watch channelings. They do not need to watch one of these, what I am doing, because we are channeling through this individual and is a channeling. It is not a regular session.
Right.
You did do a session with this individual, and that is a session. And he did end up channeling in the session. So he ended up doing both.
Yeah.
So that would be a good one to do. But at the same time, if you want them to concentrate on a session, it is best for them just to watch a session.
Yes.
When someone is telling you what they see and if they end up in a past life, or just telling you what they see, and that is what they need to see. You are correct.
A lot of people say they binge on our podcast episodes, but Travis and I used to binge on the quantum healing hypnosis sessions because they also bring in that good feeling that makes people want to binge the sessions. I think it's because the same people are helping in the session. The angels are still there.
Oh, yes.
Yeah. Other beings are there. And so it can be very comforting. Now, not every session is epic, but there have been some very good ones lately, especially.
A lot of light.
Yes.
And they bring a lot of hope for a lot of people that are still, as you say, waking up.
Yes.
Because they see ordinary people expressing themselves. And even they are learning how the light works.
Yeah.
And it brings them a lot of joy and brings them a lot of light into their lives.
And I notice that it seems like it works better when you have a good reason for doing a session, a specific thing you want to change or discover, or, maybe there's something in your life you've wondered about for a long time and you don't know. You can find those things out. You can heal things. You can heal not just illness, but, things that have always been emotionally painful too.
Yes, exactly. Everything comes together.
Yeah.
It is hard to explain to a lot of people sometimes, like I said, about the negative energy that is floating around. Because you got beings that control that energy. Like we say, we have the reptilian beings that can control that energy. Mm-hmm. The reptilian beings have technology where they can go into people and make them do things. Mm-hmm. See, the trick for them to do that, they don't actually go into the people's bodies.
Okay.
It's kind of like your movie, The Avatar.
Oh.
They can go into the people's minds in a way, but they're not necessarily in their bodies, but they can make their bodies do things.
React.
Yes. Yeah. And it kind of breaks into the third. They kind of break into the third dimension matrix. It's kind of like the only things that can see the reptilian beings inside of your bodies is your cameras, because they have certain optics in it where they can see things. So that's why when you look at a video and you can see some people's eyes change, and you can see the reptilian eyes in their eyes, it's because they are in there controlling some things. And the people don't even know it half the time. So, this is very important. We know that a lot of people on your planet think certain people are reptilians. Mm-hmm. They are not reptilians. It's just the reptilians are in their bodies, making their bodies do things. Mm-hmm. So the people themselves are not reptilians. It is the reptilians going into their bodies and making them do things. They can control them.
Okay.
But there are a secret group of people on your planet that are closer to the reptilian race, that has a deal with them. You call them the Cabal. Some people call them the Illuminati. They work very closely with the reptilians because they know about the alien races and they work with them. They're the ones that has a deal with them to do all kinds of things. Kidnap people, take them on their ships. There is so much on your planet that people don't know. It is mind-boggling. The Matrix is breaking down. Sometimes you can look into the sky and see the other plane.
Oh, yes.
You can see what you call the fifth dimension.
Is that
which really the fifth dimension, which a lot of people don't know, is actually here. Yeah. You can see where we are sometimes when you look in the sky.
Yeah.
And we're not necessarily right there in the sky.
Yeah.
It's just the fact that people don't know this, but we are actually closer to you than you think. We're not 1,000 miles away. When you die and go to the light, you're not going far away into the light. You're literally stepping into our area.
Wild.
So really, you're talking to me. You think I'm far away. I'm not. I'm really right here with you. It's just in another plane. So when you pass away, you're not gonna... You might see videos of people floating away, but they're only floating like, maybe 2 or 3 feet into the light.
You're kidding?
That's how close it is. It's not that far away.
Wow.
That is another thing people need to understand, but because your movies make it seem like we're like far away. We're right here. We're not far away.
That's interesting. My mom used to tell me that. I don't know how she knew that. Maybe in religion they picked that up somehow.
Yes, there's little teeny parts, like I said, in your religion that's correct, but the majority of it is false. They like to put little parts in there that is correct, but then they throw a whole bunch of scary stuff in there to make people think They're going to go to a hell that does not exist.
So I saw a lady who I've been following. She has the daughter who remembers being a blue avian bee. And I think it was New Year's Eve, she saw a city in the clouds. So,
Ah, yes.
yes,
She saw us.
she saw you. Yeah.
Where we are.
Yeah, she said she had a wonderful feeling.
Yes, you can see us clearly in certain areas.
Mm-hmm.
Mainly in the jungle areas, because there is no any place where there is not much technologies where you can see us clearly. You know, like in the jungles of the country or the continent of Africa, a lot of places in the jungles of Asia, Alaska, you can totally see everything in the North Pole
Wow.
and the South Pole and most parts of the Pacific Ocean where there's nothing. Most of the oceans you can see us clear because there's no electronics or anything out in those areas. So you can look in the sky and you will be able to see us very easily.
Because the electronics are not interfering. Okay.
The electronics is part of the matrix.
Yeah.
Even though the matrix is over the whole earth,
Uh-huh.
the matrix has weak spots. The weak spots are mostly in the oceans and the places where I just described to you, in your South America and a place you call Brazil. You can really see it there.
Yes.
Mostly there's a bunch of spots in Africa. All you have to do is just look up, and sometimes you can see us walking around up here. It kind of scares some people because we look like giants.
Oh.
But
oh, wow.
we're not that big. It's kind of an optical illusion, but
yeah.
It's kind of like you can see us running around up there.
Okay. The interesting thing is she said that they tried to record it and it wouldn't record, or they couldn't see it now, and it may have to do with other things.
That was the spirituality.
Yes.
If people are not very spiritual or they are really trapped in the matrix, they will not see us. But people like you or people that really know us and talk to us all the time, then you will see us. So no, everyone won't see us. It depends on what point of their life they're in. If someone didn't believe in us, they could have a little speck of belief at one point and they will see it and it will scare them because they won't know what they're looking at.
Yes.
Sometimes they won't even tell anyone what they saw because they think they're just seeing things or hallucinating. But people like you and very spiritual people that believe in the light, once they see it, they will know exactly what it is.
Yeah, that makes sense. Shoot. There was something about, what was it about? Seeing negative things and how to handle that when you are, I think, maybe in a trance state. I've never seen anything negative in a trance state, so from what you've told me, either that could be because they see it's like there are trickster spirits, and that's not exactly what you've told me. So, is that also negative energy or reptilians? Or is that something else?
That is partly the ego. The ego kicking in from things they've seen in your movies and things, and sometimes the negative energies and the reptilians will play around with it as well because they know that, and that's how they see the negative. Because when you're doing things like this, negative does not exist here.
Right.
But if you do see anything negative, then your ego is already in play, and it should not be there.
Okay.
For like this individual I'm speaking through, which is Travis, he has an ego, but his ego almost doesn't exist anymore because some people can do this. I don't know if you know this, but you can actually train your ego.
Mm-hmm.
You can train your ego to accompany us, the higher conscious, to work together all the time.
All the time. Oh.
Not just for the sessions, but all the time.
So aligned with ourselves.
Yes, because at the beginning, even for this individual, he had an ego. And he just pushed his ego aside. You can do that. If you see something negative when you're doing one of these sessions, then it is your ego. And it is also sometimes the negative energies and the reptilians like to play around with it. And that's why you see crazy things, and you wouldn't see crazy things in these kind of sessions because these sessions are basically all light, and they can infiltrate it sometimes.
But it's not the wandering souls doing that.
No. And the thing about it is
such a confusion.
Wandering souls are just people that want to stick around to help their families. And they are wandering because they're wandering around looking at things. They're not just with the person they wanted to stick around all the time. They literally do wander around and look at other things too. They're wandering. They're looking at things. They're like, oh, I remember this place, and they just go look at it, and they're literally wandering around.
Do they want a little more experience before they left?
No, they just want to look around.
They just want
a lot of people don't want to go straight to the light a lot of times, and we give them that choice. We'll ask them, do you want to come to the light right now? And they say, well, no. I say, okay, well, the light's basically right beside you the whole time, so whenever you want to come here, you can come here. Or you can just walk around there and you mess around. And they're not upset. They're just want to see things.
And they're not pranking us or...
Some people never left the country. Once they are out of their body, they can go anywhere they want.
True.
So I want to go to Hawaii, and they can go to Hawaii at a snip of a finger, and they're there, and they just looking around, and they can still feel the water in a different kind of way.
Okay.
They can swim. To them, they feel like they're in the water and swimming, but they're in another dimension doing it, and they can pretty much go anywhere they want.
Okay.
That is a good thing about when you leave your body, because you can go anywhere you want. And there's no time here. There's no time limit to go to the light, because it is infinite. You can go anytime you want.
Right. So if you never got to go to some place for them.
Yes. And you remember when I said there are no rules here?
Yes.
I have to take that back, because once they come into the light, they can't go back out of the light and go wander.
Yeah, I do remember
So that's a rule, I guess. It's like...
So that makes sense.
So we do tell them that. I said, do you want to come to the light? I said, I want to look around. Okay, look around as long as you want.
Okay.
Once you come into the light, though, you cannot go back down there unless you go back into another life.
Right. But they are not play pranks on us or harass.
No, because that is negative. You can't, that doesn't happen.
Okay.
The only people that are doing things like that are the negative energies and the beings that can do things like that.
Is it only the reptilian?
It is just those beings. That is the only beings that do things like that. They are
Yeah.
all over the universe, actually, the ones you call reptilians.
Yeah.
But they're not all bad. There are some good ones too.
I know.
They are having their own war between each other because there are some good reptilians and some bad ones, and you have good reptilians on your planet as well. And they have the same technology as the negative ones.
Okay.
So the good reptilians can actually do what we do and break in and chase the negative ones away from people sometimes. Because they're fighting each other.
Yeah. Well, not for them, but...
Yes, because, the negative reptilian has crystals and the positive reptilians has crystals.
Oh, wow.
But the positive reptilians have the better crystals because they are our crystals. The reptilians just manipulated some crystals to do little things that people here and there, but the good reptilians have the most powerful crystals, so
Goodness.
they can only, the negative reptilians do like little things here and there. They can make people's faces change on your cameras and scare people, and so the people on your planet that you say are reptilians are not evil people. It's just the reptilians get on them and make them do weird things, and you just call them negative people.
Sometimes they look absolutely terrified.
Yes, they do that on purpose. And there are some, a very select few, there are some that actually know that they are doing that to them, and they let them do it so they can get your stupid fame on your planet to make them, and get them more currency. And so there are some that know about what's really going on, and they pretty much are giving up their bodies to let them do what they want. But we don't punish them for that because they signed a contract to be that way when they went down there.
Sure.
We already know that.
It's a pretty wild place.
Yes.
It really is.
So, you know about it. You know that everyone signed up for it. So, there's really no reason to be afraid of it because that's what they signed up for.
Yeah. Yeah.
So if you know how all those things work, then it's not even shocking at all, really, if you think about it, because that's what they signed up to do. They signed up to do that.
Right. Speaking of that, our last channeling, that got some people worried. Are we going to go back to pioneer type days, or will we have, will our minds expand? Will we be helped with, say, technologies like free energy or anything like that, or are we going to be...
That will happen only for, in your time span, that will only happen for like 9 months, and then you have other smart people that know how to create things, and you will have help from other beings from other planets, and they will create things, and you will have your light, and they will give you things to help you make
we'll have
food to eat, and it will be very different. It will be a kind of food that you can eat that you will like. You will not have to kill animals to eat because they will show you how to make these machines, and they will make a bunch of them. Pretty much everyone will have one. So they will not have you doing those things for long.
Okay.
You will have light, but it won't be through your so-called power lines.
Yeah.
It will literally be some instrument that you can just put in the house. It is almost like a little technology you have now. Well, you have to put batteries in it, but it's like little lights that you can just press.
Yeah.
And it'll come on. But you will not need batteries for it. You just stick them all around your little domicile and you will have lights. And
yeah. Okay.
The only thing that will be different, though, is you will not have what you call your television.
Yes, I was
So
thinking about that.
all of that will be gone.
Yes.
So people just have to deal with that, unfortunately. But at least they will have food and water and lights and and they will have a new kind of transportation because the other
Yeah.
beings will give them things.
Too.
They will give them things to put in the automobiles that you have now. They will make them go
Oh.
without even having to use a crank.
Mm.
They will just put it in the car and it will work on you with your mind, where you can control your car with your
Right.
mind.
Oh,
It
wow.
will still have a steering wheel and wheels, but if you want to turn left, it will turn left because that is what your mind is telling it to go.
Mm-hmm.
You will know when to stop because you will see the other car in front of you stop.
Okay.
So,
It sounds like much better than last time when we talked.
yes,
Yeah.
and the cars will be quieter because you won't need the motor. It will be almost like you're driving in neutral without sound. The only noise you will hear is the noise that the tires make when and that will be very quiet.
Mm.
So it will be quieter
Hmm.
still. And the reason why they will be doing that to help people, because they do not necessarily like people riding your so-called horses' backs, because the
Oh.
horses are like people. And riding around is almost like using them as slaves, and they do not want to see that anymore. So that's how they will get you to figure out how to make your automobiles run, so you won't have to go back to riding horses again. They
Yeah.
do not want that. So yes, you will be fine. You will have to hunt for a little bit, but it
A
won't
little
last
bit.
long
Okay.
because they want to give people time to get to know each other and calm down. But there will be some beings that show up automatically when everything shuts down because they have to see them. They have to see the other beings so they won't fight each other.
Oh.
See, if everything shuts down, we know how people do on your planet. They start looting and they start
Mm-hmm.
robbing each other and everything. But the other beings will show up almost automatically because yes, it will scare people, but see, that will keep their minds occupied of not hurting each other. Because they will see the other beings. They'll be too scared of the other beings, and that will cause them to work together. The other beings will not even do anything to them. They will see their ships, and it will scare them.
Mm-hmm.
They won't even show themselves for a while. They will just see the ships. That will keep people on your planet from hurting each other, because they're too busy concentrating on the ships they see in the sky.
Yeah.
So yes, they won't have any power. The water, they will have to figure out how to get that because
Mm.
when the power goes out, then you don't have tap water. So they will figure out a way to get it some kind of way.
Mm-hmm.
I do not want to say what it is yet.
No, that's
But
okay.
they will find out how to get the water.
Okay.
And they will hunt food for a while. But then the aliens will come down and the powers that be in all of the countries will talk to the aliens, and they will have little meetings in every town, and the leaders in the town will get everyone together, and every leader will have one of the other beings to talk to the people, because you won't have television, so they won't be able to do the mass media thing. It will be up to every little town or city or whatever to get people together.
Mm-hmm.
And it will be kind of hard for them to do that because television and stuff made it easier for everyone to see.
Mm-hmm.
It'll be harder for them to do in the bigger cities because since there's no TV, you can't get thousands of people. They won't even be able to see the alien because it's too far away.
Oh.
If you get like thousands of people and you're showing the alien, the people way in the back won't be able to see what
Okay. Yes.
Because they don't have any technology to see.
Right.
So it will take
a little time.
take a little time. It'll be word of mouth, and the people in the front will have to tell people what they see, and it'll take them a while to believe what they're talking about, but eventually they will. But your so-called cell phones, even though you won't have your so-called Wi-Fi, I believe your cell phones will still be able to take photos.
Oh.
As long as they have power. Because taking photos on your phone does not have anything to do with Wi-Fi. It is built into the phone.
Right.
So Metatron is telling me that might be the way. But they will not be able to send pictures to other people. They would just be able to show them the picture they have on their phone. So I literally have to show it to everyone. Because since there won't be any Wi-Fi, you can't send it the picture.
Yeah.
But they can take a picture on their phone and show it to people.
Okay. Yeah, I was wondering because, 5D was considered to be an elevated spiritual state. Well, we're finding out different, like, for us.
Yeah.
Will it be easier to connect? People are saying right now it's easier to connect.
Oh, yes.
With Source. And
once all of that happens, a lot of people will transfer to 5D automatically because that will break down the matrix. Like I said, you will be able to see a lot of things once it breaks down, because that will be going on a lot too. So people will be seeing a lot of things, and they will be scared, and there will be people to help them get through that.
Now, this lady saw or understood that we would go on, that some people would go on ships.
Yes.
Was that for this too?
That will happen for that as well.
Oh, wow.
Because once the other beings come, then they will offer them to go on.
Oh, heck.
A lot of the people will go on the ships because there will be no food. And the other beings can actually replicate what is being made down here now. They can replicate anything you want. So if you want a certain thing on their ship, you can say, I want a pizza. They can make a pizza.
Okay. I know people will ask, how will you put your vote in? Can you...
No, it will just be voluntary. They will...
Oh, so anyone...
The ships will be there, and they will offer. Everyone will have the option to go on the ships.
Oh, that is amazing.
And I have to also add, that is why everything will be available, because they will be able to come off the ships as well and bring things to their families if they want.
Oh, God. I know it's going to be strange. And, I will have to see it and get used. But I think
it won't take people long to get used to it because they'll be so hungry. Then they will not be scared anymore because they'll be so hungry.
Oh, gosh.
Once people on your planet get to the point where they're so hungry, nothing will scare them to get food. Especially if the beings are nice. They will not be scared.
Well, the animals?
No, animals are already in the wild, so they will be scared of... They'll be normal. The animals in the wild will not change. They will be normal.
Our pets?
They already see the 5D, so to them, nothing is different. Well, the animals already see the 5D, so to them, everything will be normal. I mean, seeing scared people might scare them, but
I see.
They'll be wondering why people are scared because they already see what we can't see. So they'll be like, what is wrong with you guys? Because they already see those things.
Oh.
Yes, animals already see it. They're not humans. They see everything. But they'll be like wondering what the hell is going on. And like,
okay.
So why is everyone running around for? We already saw this stuff.
Well, I was wondering how we would feed them, but I guess.
Yes, but animals always find ways to get food, so.
Well, our cats, we don't want to leave them out for food.
No, you will have your pets with you, but you will be able to give them some food as well.
Okay. That will make people feel better.
Yes. If you have all of the answers you need,
Anything else?
This is what everyone should realize when they want to speak about what they see. If they see other beings, and they can ask to do what you call a session, and it will help them. It will help them figure out a lot of things in their life, and it will bring them a lot of light. It will help a lot. Or sometimes they can just do it on their own if they can figure that out.
You mean when people have quiet lives?
Yes, questions in general. They can meditate and start seeing things. Sometimes they can do it themselves.
Yes.
But things like these actually help a lot if they can find a mediator to help them see what their past lives is, or even what is going on in their lives. They will end up helping themselves out if they can go under, and they will be able to figure it out. They will get answers.
I think some people are told that they have certain things. No, I can't calm down. And I just don't think that.
Yes, that is not true. Usually when people say those things, they will not be able to go under because they are locked into the matrix, and they will not be able to go under. You will never be able to get anyone under if they say things like that. They have to learn how to calm down, because they will not be able to get any information. If they say they cannot go under, then they will not go under.
Right.
Yes, if they say that, they will not be able to go under.
Yeah.
And usually people like that are very hyperactive, and they cannot, as you say, sit still. And if that's the case, then you cannot help them.
So there are things they hypnosis.
Yes, yes, because their higher selves are always trying to tell them things, but they are deaf to it because they are so in the matrix and tied down to worrying about things. They just don't, they will not hear, they will not hear us.
It seems like they're trying to control, which is the first rule of the whole thing.
Yes.
Yeah.
It is the total ego. That's when the ego has total control.
Okay.
People that say that is ego. The ego can override the higher selves pretty easy because the matrix has the ego locked into their brain. And that's what you call stubbornness as well. Yes. Yes, there are many that will do well.
Thank you for everything.
Guy.
Thank you for listening to Quantum Healing with the Angels. This podcast is sponsored by Sarah Webb Beyond Quantum Healing. Contact Sarah today for your free consultation and mention this ad for 10% off your Quantum Healing or Quantum Connect session.